Not a big Trump
Morning,
fan,
everybody.
I can tell you.
And the president had this to say about the whistleblower.
He's a fake whistleblower. And frankly, somebody ought to sue his off. All right.
President Trump says the NFL should expect to start on time in September. He had a conference call with all Major League Sports commissioners yesterday and said he wants to have fans back in stadiums at least by August. This is USA Radio News.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
JetBlue, United, and Delta Airlines say they're providing free airfare to all medical professionals who are willing to help out in hotspots like New York, Detroit, and New Orleans, which still has the highest coronavirus death rate of all the hard-hit U.S. cities, including New York. 32 fatalities per 100,000 residents. That is actually double that of New York City. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise, the House Minority Whip, told Fox,
"We've been working with the president all the way down through FEMA, talked to the FEMA administrator at the beginning of this week, and they assured us they were going to get more PPEs and ventilators down to New Orleans, and they've gotten it through the state's Office of Emergency Preparedness."
New Orleans is said to be running out of ventilators by Sunday. One cruise ship has docked in Miami. The Coral Princess has at least a dozen people who've tested positive for the virus. Thousands are on board. So far, 2 people have died. You're listening to USA Radio News.
At the American Veterinary Medical Association annual convention in Washington, D.C., I spoke with Dr. John Howe, AVMA president, about One Health.
One Health is really a collaboration between physicians and veterinarians or public health officials. For example, in Minnesota, our state public health veterinarian deals with zoonotic diseases, rabies, for example. Animals are sentinels for humans, and humans are sentinels for some infections in animals.
There's more valuable information at avma.org.
3M said the Trump administration had asked it to stop exporting U.S.-made N95 respirator masks to Canada and Latin America. The request had significant humanitarian implications, the company warned, and could prompt other companies to act in kind. President Trump said he had used the Defense Production Act to hit 3M hard without providing any additional details. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told reporters it would be a mistake to create blockages or reduce trade with Canada.
We've been working very closely with the Americans to highlight what Canadians know very, very well.
That's the problem.
The level of integration between our economies goes both ways across the border.
They want to have it
we are receiving essential supplies from the United States, but the United States also receives essential supplies and products and indeed healthcare professionals from Canada every single day. I think of the thousands of nurses, for example, who cross the bridge in Windsor to work in the Detroit medical system every single day. These are things that Americans rely on, and it would be a mistake to create blockages or reduce the amount of back and forth trade of essential goods and services, including medical goods, across our border. That is the point we're making very clearly to the American administration right now.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the
I mentioned that right off.
Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. Today is the 5th of April, 2020. Today is episode 52, which means...
Well, technically no.
1 year.
Technically no.
Technically...
No, 51.
51.
Well, maybe 50-50.
Okay. So technically 51.
You lost one weekend.
Yeah.
When we did the move.
Okay, yeah, so 51.
And then wasn't there another weekend we went on? Or was it just that weekend?
I don't remember. So 51, you're probably right about that.
I know there was one weekend that we did the move and the radio station was shut down for programming.
So next week will be 52.
Well, it's a 1 year anniversary show, correct?
Yes.
April 7th, 2019 was the debut of Middleboro in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. I can't say it like Tony. Tony's the best. He's got the best voice out there as far as the intros, all commercials he's been doing for years. I just love it. I love listening to his voice. It's great.
So welcome to the almost 1 year edition of
the official anniversary show.
This is the official anniversary show. The
we
1
can
year.
Have another one next weekend.
Yeah, the 1 year anniversary is on Tuesday.
Yes.
So yes, I want to
have two parties. Everyone loves a party, right, Joe?
Yep. Later on this show, I'm going to mention an exciting new way to reach the show, and we are going to mention that later on this show. So, let's check the weather here for Middleboro. It is a pretty cold day, but not that cold. It's just getting light out. It's 38 degrees and cloudy outside. It will get up to 54 degrees. We will see the sun today. We haven't seen the sun since...
No, yesterday afternoon we saw the sun.
I didn't see it.
Were you in the cave?
I didn't mention it. I didn't notice it at all.
Were you in the cave? Well, you were home.
I was home.
You were
home
in your room, right?
I didn't see it. Well, last time I saw the sun was
with your head under the pillows.
Thursday, I think. That's the last time I saw the sun.
Okay.
So it's been a couple of days.
Really? You missed out a lot. It was yesterday afternoon turned out to be really beautiful.
I did not see the sun. I knew it was raining when I left.
So you're doing
to come here.
You're doing your social distancing and you're hanging out in your room, and that's good. That's what I've been doing. I mean, I have to work. I have to deliver the heating oil, but I go straight home. I don't. I try not to go anywhere. I'm not bumping into anybody. So
tomorrow is going to get into the 60s. 62 tomorrow.
Wow.
Yep. So we starting to warm up here.
Last week was kind of a...
we've hit April.
Friday was kind of a crappy day.
Yeah, we're gonna get a couple of days where it's gonna rain. We are in April, so
April showers.
I would expect that we get quite a few days where it will rain.
Yes.
Here and
so
we'll see how many
days.
What's
the temperature at the center of the universe there? At 14 Church Green.
Well, the Middleboro is 38, and in Taunton, which is the center of the universe,
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, we are technically sitting in the because we're across the street from the Green, obviously here, and you got the big American. No, not the big American. Technically, I guess the Green. We're not across the street from the Green, but we're across the street from. Everyone knows where the spot is on 44. There's another set of flags across the street from us at the beginning of the Green.
Yep.
And it has all the branch services, a PLW flag, American flag, whatnot. But I guess if you really wanted to go to center, you would have to walk over and stand underneath the flagpole at the green. So that's technically right there. That's the center of the universe. Right.
It's 41 degrees right now.
Ooh,
yep.
A little warmer down south here, huh?
Yes. So we are going to talk about today. We're going to start off with the Sacred Heart Food Pantry, which has been keeping their regular hours during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the Sacred Heart Food Pantry is open during its regular hours to serve residents of Middleboro, Carver, Lakeville, and Rochester during these difficult times. And I think that's really good that Sacred Heart is open and serving those communities, especially during this time. It's a very tough time during COVID-19. I think it's a good thing.
Right, and it's good for the elderly too, because what's happening with they're kind of getting squeezed out by everyone else. I mean, I know the elderly have certain times they can go shopping in the morning, but it's like it's 6 in the morning. So they get up at 5, you get in there by 6, so I don't have to deal with people. And I think this is helping them. So, because it's good if people have, light conditions, they don't really want to be risking going out, even to the supermarket. So if they can go and get something, at the food pantry and just go home and take it, they're not dealing with the stress of the parking lot and walking in and dealing with it and then dealing with everything. So that's a good service. I think a lot of people are probably utilizing that, and that's great that they're keeping that going and everything.
In order to protect the volunteers, the first contact needs to be done by phone, and the number is 508-947-1717, and select option 2. Leave your name and phone number. A pantry volunteer will call you to arrange food distribution. The food pantry is adhering to all federal, state, and local guidelines to protect both patrons and volunteers. It is following both sanitary and social distancing precautions. If any of the current patrons have questions about coming to the pantry, please call to discuss your concerns. The Sacred Heart Food Pantry is located at the rear entrance of 53 Oak Street in Middleboro. It is open on the first and third Wednesday mornings of the month from 8:30 to 11 a.m. It is also open on the second and fourth Wednesday afternoons from 4 to 6:30 p.m. The pantry is open on Saturday mornings from 8:30 to 11 a.m. And donations of food are welcome. So I think that is really good.
That's a great story. I'm glad you.
That's a really good thing during these times.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of, especially older people, want to deal with the supermarkets. They want to deal with everyone. I don't know. I think everyone's got enough food now. Maybe people. I don't know. You got to give the supermarket workers a break. Those people are there every day, and they're trying to practice social distancing, but it's hard. I heard of some supermarkets yesterday that I can't name them obviously, but they're out there and there's loaded with people, and I don't know if do you really need the 15th bag of cheese doodle or something? I don't know. I'd say this isn't a time to go pig out. It's a time to be a little lean. You can kind of make sure everyone else has something.
This story is community helping community, and I think that's extremely important during these times.
I hate the idea of the shelves, everything getting hoarded out. Shelves being bare. You can't get basics. It's just what I saw at the beginning of this a couple of weeks ago was just heartbreaking. A lot of the selfish, you get so much selfishness, and then you get so many people who all the equipment, meaning Governor Cuomo is saying, if you have ventilators upstate, you don't need them. Let's get a handle on the ventilators. And I can see the federal government in their response say, look, get a hang on the ventilator. Don't hoard all the ventilators. Don't hoard all the equipment. And I know there was a couple of I know the Department of Justice got involved, and they raided a couple of warehouses that had personal protection equipment, PPE. Okay, and they're getting it out there. I mean, that's the whole thing. They're coordinating like I've never seen before to get this taken care of. And I hope, after all this is done, this coordination and cooperation stays. Because it only makes things easier for everybody. Everyone's on the same page. And I know Governor Cuomo says, look, we'll give you back your ventilators. We just need them down here now. And when the curve leaves New York and goes off to somewhere else in the country, then we'll help. That's how, it perfectly makes sense what this guy is saying. Really. It really does. And I think the eyes are on him. Okay? If you don't agree with his politics, that's fine. Okay? Whatever. It's not, this time it's not partisan at all. All right? But his
people are looking for leadership during this time.
Right, that's
from
his job.
every single governor in the country
to a local mayor, to everybody. And it's just seems like some people say, well, hey, the federal response is, well, I don't know. I mean, we need to figure out the waste. We have to work together and use what we have. I mean, it doesn't make any sense if you ship, all these ventilators up north somewhere where it's not needed. It's needed right now. They're all needed in New York, New Jersey, parts of Connecticut. There's hot spots in New Orleans, Michigan. Okay,
yes.
You need to move them around.
Yeah,
and they're talking about the vaccine, and I pray that that's the work. And one other thing too, because I think I'm starting my rant a little early. It's just not a rant either. I think I put the rant on hold. I think people need to look at this in a perspective of, think of his chess and how you make your move and how you move on a daily basis with your life. Meaning, okay, I get up, social distance. It's like the game operation. You get too close to it, so think of that in your head. I mean, just other ways of just thinking to stay away from people. Okay, because we're so used to hugging and kept shaking hands and getting close, and that's all come to an end, and people don't like it. But right now, if we want to get back to work, we all have to do it today. So just think about your movements. You strategize your movements. Strategize your walking. You got to think of every aspect of your life as you move on your daily routine. I move around. I back up. I see someone walking. I walk on the other side. If I drive a truck, so I can't go through drive-through, so I have to go into a sub shop. But I walk in, and then I threw the card away. I just threw it on the thing. She did her thing. She wanted the receipt. No, just keep the receipt. Put the card in the bag. She puts the card in the bag. She walks back. I grab my bag and I walk. It's like back and forth. It's like a seesaw thing. Think of it as chess. And you have to outsmart the virus so you don't get sick. Okay? That's my thinking, and that's how I've been operating and moving. Because I got to stay up. I need to make work. I can't get my family sick. And my employer counts on me not to get sick, so I can crawl in that truck Monday morning and do the 25 oil deliveries that have to be done. Okay? Because what happens, you said it was 38 degrees this morning, correct? Yeah. It's cold. People need the heat. They need the hot water. At least for the next couple months, anyway. So I just think Dr. Anthony Fauci said it perfectly. The weapon is to stay away from people. The virus can't do anything if you're 6 feet away. That's why I'm 6 feet away from you.
Yep.
So, I usually, on Green Mike, I usually sit right next to you. I'm not today.
Nope.
And when the show's over, guess where I go? I go and sit in the car for 5 hours and wait for you. And listen to WVVF and all its wonderful programming.
Speaking of WVVF and all its wonderful programming, let's mention it before we go on the break.
Oh, yeah,
So,
we just talked to
Pastor Van Cross.
Yeah,
He dropped off
we
some new programming for the next 2 months.
I think he's listening. Hello, Pastor. And he was talking to me about different ways he's dealing with his ministry, reaching out to people. And everyone's reaching out to people, via computer, email, phone, whatever it takes.
He's on after us at 8 o'clock. And then the Rosary is on. And then at 9 o'clock, starting today, this Sunday and going forward at 9 o'clock, Talking Birds will be on at 9. And then Keys of the Kingdom at 9:30. And then at 10 o'clock, First Baptist Church of Randolph with Pastor Roger Haber. And then 11 o'clock, we have Musical Odyssey. And then at noon, we have Sounds of the Emerald Isle.
Which will
be, not 100% sure. I have to make sure. I have to text Jim. But I believe he told me that it will be a pre-recorded program this week. I have to text him and find out. But I believe it will be a pre-recorded program.
You got the...
I have the CD ready.
Okay.
For today's program, if it is pre-recorded.
Just in case.
Right. So...
He works real hard on those pre-recorded programs, too. He puts a lot of time into them. And he puts hours into putting... I mean, if the show's 2 hours, he's probably putting 6, anyway, 5 or 6 hours into making it. Putting it all together. I mean, it's different if it's live. Because you don't have to do all the voiceovers as far as you're announcing. You're just doing it live and just playing it on. But as far as putting something together, I mean, you're in school, you're doing all that. It does take a lot of time, doesn't it, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, he works very hard on it just to keep the show. And when he can't make it, obviously, he tries to put it together. And he's a true professional. Jim is the best, in my opinion.
And finally, to wrap it all up, Stand Up Strong at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
With Ed Miller and Tony Branch. That's a great show. I love listening to that show. You know why? Because, I don't know, those guys are just like the odd couple in a way. I mean, politically, I don't even know if they might be. Politically, it's a political show, obviously. But they might, I don't know, it's like the odd couple. It's fun to listen to. I do like listening to that show a lot. Because it's different, and I like the format and how it goes. So that's a great show, too.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to listen to us on TuneIn, search up TuneIn, and then search up Hometown Talk Radio. We're also on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, and we're also on Audio Now, and the Audio Now number is 605-562-7958. We will be right back here on Middleboro in Review.
And he likes on the computer, on the phone?
Yeah, yes, a couple comments too. Let's see here. Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hey, tell him to call. Tell him to call in. Give him the number.
Scott, if you're still on, call in. 508-822-1106.
Let us know what's going on in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Alright.
What are the comments?
Just from Scott.
What do you say?
Hi, this is Jim Larkin.
He said, good morning, happy anniversary, and Cuomo is definitely showing leadership, which he definitely is. He's 100%, definitely showing leadership.
Even if you didn't vote for the guy.
and to make you laugh, some
Who's
Irish
Joe?
comedy.
Yep.
That's Sundays from noon to 2 right here on
So
WVBF.
508-822-1106.
Yeah, Scott, give us a call.
And on the
Yeah,
internet,
definitely.
hometowntalkradio.com.
TJ Driscoll Construction is based in Wareham, Massachusetts, serving the
was that
South
too long
Shore
of a rant?
area and
No.
Cape Cod for 30 years. They specialize in septic repair and landscaping. Call TJ Driscoll Construction at 508-735-7966. Septic repair, new septic systems, retaining walls, foundations, and excavation.
There's a new movie coming out soon.
Tree and shrub
It's
installations.
called Greyhound.
Yeah.
You see the thing, Flo, with Tom Hanks?
No, I haven't.
No, let's go out. Obviously, but I haven't seen any movies for a while. But
Yeah.
766. Call them today. You will not be disappointed.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dozer. I'm the Public Relations Officer for the local Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association, Chapter
We got a
2-2.
phone call.
I'm here to inform you of
We got a phone call.
Scott.
This is Middleboro in Review. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me? I'm doing well. You're on hold. I'm gonna put you on hold. We'll be back from a commercial break in about a minute.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. You guys are it's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah,
You got him on hold?
yeah, I got you on hold though. You're on hold, so
Yeah.
just
a couple more feet.
hang tight.
Okay.
You're on. So.
Commercials all the junk. You good?
Yep, we got one more commercial.
Where is it? Did you hear it?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, you turned it down?
Yeah.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, yeah.
What commercial is it?
is thought to spread mainly from personal
COVID-19.
Yeah.
through respiratory
What do you got left to do? Spark Street?
Yeah.
In mine, right?
Spark Street, and I can do yours next commercial break, which is fun. And I'll do Talking Birds promo next commercial break.
Do Spark Street first. Then
Yeah, I'm gonna do Spark Street, and then I'm gonna I'll come back.
Try not to keep the Driscoll boys together.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do Spark Street, and then I'm gonna do yours next commercial.
That's fine. Whatever. Let's get back on the air.
or diabetes are at higher risk for more serious illness from COVID-19. This group should consult with their healthcare provider about additional steps to stay protected. For more information on COVID-19, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You should reach them at 508-583-1495. They are open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
And welcome back to Middleboro in Review with Joey Driscoll and Dawn. And we have a phone call, and we're going to say hello to Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Hello, Joe. Hello, Don.
Hey, Scott. How's everything going?
It's stepping up to where you guys are as far as, situation with, the stay at home and social distancing and, death rates and infection rates. But it's a lot warmer than 38 degrees, though.
Yeah, we gotta say, Scott, you're calling from, what town are you in again?
I'm in Gwinnett County, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta.
Okay, it's near Stone Mountain, out that area.
Yep, Stone Mountain is just a stone's throw away.
What's the town you're in, Joe? Scott?
Snellville.
Snellville, right. I remember that, yeah. So, are the restaurants closed in Georgia? They've been closed for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, has Georgia been closed?
As far as the restaurants.
The county just did that last week, and then the state finally got off their duffs and, we've announced it, statewide as far as, everybody staying at home. My county, it has one of the higher infection rates, but not quite as high as some of the surrounding counties that include Metro Atlanta.
Okay. So you're saying to me that the restaurants just closed countywide last week, you said? Inside restaurants, you mean?
The takeout thing.
Just started. Because we've been on that for 2.5 weeks.
A week ago in the county, and
okay.
2 days ago,
statewide.
We went into statewide stay at home.
Okay, right.
Only essential. I'm one of the sacrificial. I'm at the sacrificial end of the essential workers thing, and I've got a letter from corporate that allows me to travel to and from work.
Yeah, you're at that point because Massachusetts still it's an advisory actually still. I don't think Governor Baker's changed that, but we're at an advisory.
Really?
Yeah, but the thing is, people are. I mean, there's not many people out. They're staying home. I think. I know they finally closed the beaches on Friday in Massachusetts because too many people are headed down to hanging out at the beach, especially down in Nantasket. So they closed all those parking spots because I'm down there every other day in the oil truck, and they were all hanging out, just getting the social distancing is key. That's the weapon. That's the weapon. That's our secret weapon. That's
absolutely.
The mask's fine. Anything else is fine. Wash your hands and just stay away from people. That's, I think. Anything there, Joe?
Yeah. A lot of people aren't practicing that.
No. But a lot of people are too, because I am, and I know a lot of people are. We're staying far away. We have no guests allowed. The management said no guests, just just whoever's doing the shows, and I leave. I usually hang out with Joe, until he's off, and I'm going to sit in the car for 5 hours or whenever he gets done. He's working at 2 o'clock. So yeah, I totally changed my life because I don't want to get anyone sick. I have somebody, I have a loved one at home who's, over 80 years old, and I don't want him getting sick, so I'm just doing what I can. And I think everyone should think that.
Yeah, we all need to have to do what we can and try to support the people who are deemed essential. I mean, I know I'm lower end essential, but I live with 2 family members who work in the medical field. And, a third who is in her 60s, health issues, and is self-quarantined at the house for the past 3 weeks.
Right. How are they doing at your, I don't mention any names as far as companies, big box stores, small box stores, because I don't know what, legally I could say on the radio, so I just don't. So, where you're working, how are they doing for the social distancing? I know what they did I think I'm not sure if they did statewide, but some towns took anything non-essential supplies in the stores are off limits. Meaning, there's some stuff like the greeting cards in some places that aisle shut down, or the flower pots, or just stuff like that's non-essential. Just areas because they said people are walking around and browsing. And I've been saying that for weeks. If you know what you need at the supermarket, make a list, get it, and get out. Don't be hanging around and just shooting the breeze with people, because this isn't the time to do that, in my opinion. Your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, that's important. If you're in a supermarket, get what you need and get out. And it's really important to just not stay around and browse.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, our half of the species has, have always said, yeah, honey, I'll get around to that project when I have the time. And, gee, now that you're stuck at home, you have the time to paint the kids' room or, whatever it may be. And, unfortunately, now is not the time.
No, you're right. And they were talking about that, too, last week on a bigger station in Boston. And they were interviewing, and they're saying, people, it's just like, you're right. This isn't the time. It's time to stay home. I mean, I know the companies need to make their money, and some people are doing better than ever on stuff because of what's going on. But we're not going to be back to normal anytime soon if people just don't, they have to go by the guidelines. They have to stay, it's so important. I mean, if everyone just plays ball, we'll be out of this in a month. Hopefully in a month. By the time April 30 comes around, and hopefully they can start slowly opening up the economy again. And I know it's going to be piecemeal. It's not going to be... I don't think anyone's going to be sitting in any stadiums anytime soon. What do you think, Joe? As far as the sports part?
Yeah, sports are definitely going to be on hold for a while. I've heard July, August being mentioned at this point when it comes to having fans back at stadiums.
Right. It's going to be a slow effect, meaning, with, like Governor Baker says, 10 people or less in groups. That number's going to slowly go back up, and then it's going to be okay. It's going to be 250, and then it's going to be 1,000. It's going to take its time to go up because they have to look at the numbers. They can't just say, okay, everyone's back. That's not going to work that way. They have to work. Just like how they shut everything down, they got to turn everything back on. It's like the faucet. You got to turn it on a little at a time so you don't have problems. Scott.
Absolutely, with everything. And unfortunately, people got to realize that, the sooner we deal with this inconvenience, I guess, or what we have to deal with, the sooner we'll get life back to normal.
Everyone's going to play ball today. Period. I mean, it's not fun for anybody. I mean, I go and sit in my room. I try to stay away from my family members because I'm out delivering oil all day, and as far as my employer, he doesn't, he's like, get your stuff and go. We'll talk in June, all right? Whatever. We don't need to sit here and talk in the office. He's straddling the office help. He has one girl coming in the morning. She leaves at 12, and then we have another employee who's had some operations, so she might be vulnerable. So she's in there by herself. My boss sits in his office. He comes out very little. He waits for everyone to come out. It's just like I said to Joe earlier. If you were listening, it's like chess, don't you think, Scott? It's like chess. You have to limit your moves. You have to be careful how you move. You have to back up. You have to strategize every aspect of your life, especially now. You really do. You have to watch who you walk into and just avoid people, period.
The most applicable comparison to chess is the fact that you have to think 5 to 6 moves ahead.
Right.
And that's
chess. Yes, you do. You have to think where you're going. You need food. First of all, you need food. You need to go out and you get that 15, 16 bag of cheese rolls and ring ding lights or whatever you want. You know what I mean? And it's most important too. A lot of people are sitting home, and a lot of people might be overeating, overconsumption now, and eating and not eating good because they're stuck at home, so whatever they want to make and that's not good for it's not good for your body. You need to eat good stuff. to help your immune system too during all this too. You just don't want to go and eat cheese doodles and ring dings for a month. That's not healthy. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Any final words, Joe?
Yes, I think during this time, definitely what you just mentioned, don't try to eat all these junk foods. You got to keep your immune system strong because this is a very important time for that.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say, Scott, before we move on?
Just be safe, stay healthy, and follow the guidelines set by the CDC and your local health department, and we'll all get through this.
Yes, and like you said, Cuomo is showing leadership. I think everyone's showing leadership, in my opinion. I'm not, there'll be plenty of blame game later. I mean, that's just politics, but let's all work together because no one's dealt with this before, and sometimes you can't have a head-in approach about stuff, and you really got to think things out. It's like chess. If a governor's screaming for 40,000 ventilators, and he's, okay, we'll get you your ventilators, here you go. Oh, we only need 10,000 of them. And meanwhile, somebody else needed another 10. So I think it's like I said, it's just like supply and demand. You just got to be careful where you send your assets. And I know Cuomo was talking about, he signed an executive order, meaning your ventilators, if they're in the state of New York, they belong to me. I want them. I want to know where they are. I want to have, at least we know where all the ventilators are now and all the equipment. We have a list. We have to a certain degree, enlisted. And then the Department of Justice went after a couple companies that were ordered. So that's the whole thing. I mean, we do have the equipment. We just need to find it. It's the whole idea of finding it and distributing it correctly, in my opinion. That's it. Okay, Scott, be safe, brother.
You too.
All right. So let's do a little sports segment real quick before we take a break. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break and then we'll do our sports segment. You're listening to Middleboro in Review on 99.7 FM, 1530 AM. And on TuneIn, type in Hometown Talk Radio. And on Audio Now, dial 605-562-7958. We'll be right back.
Wow. That was a pretty good call. Joey, I'm sorry, I bet. I'm the other host of the show, not me. You need to kind of tell him when to pull the plug, not me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but I didn't want to be on all. I didn't want
I
to be on all
know
day.
it was a good call.
It was,
we
but
need
I mean,
to have that
it's
kind
your
of call.
show.
Yeah.
You need to make the directive, not me.
I know. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to be a little more forceful as far as questioning
the
and
show.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, as far as trying to get them off, because you don't want them on the whole half hour.
No,
You know
of
what
course
I mean?
not.
10 minutes
Spark
is
Street
enough.
Auto Body,
Yeah.
located at 48 Spark Street in
That's what I
Boston,
think.
Massachusetts.
But I can't tell you that on the air.
No,
You're
right.
Service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
Yeah, not as bad as that.
Hi, this is Ray Brown, inviting you to tune in to Talkin' Birds, a show about wild birds, birding, and conservation, right here on WVBF, broadcasting from the Taunton Federal Credit Union Studios at 14 Church Green. Join us for informative interviews and fun information about birds and birding. It's Talkin' Birds, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9, here on WVBF, AM 1530 and 99.7 FM.
DK Driscoll Removal Services is a company to call to get any cleanup you may need to do around your house done anytime.
time of the year. You can call them at 508-725-2334. They remove construction debris, metals, railroad ties, tires, appliances, paints, and much, much more, like concrete, brick, asphalt, yard removal, brush, logs, and leaves. Also basements, attics, garages, houses, and property in general. Again, the number is 508-725-2334. Call them today. You will not be disappointed in DK Driscoll Removal Services.
Hey, Chris, you want to join us for the last 10 minutes of the show?
What's up, everybody? My name is Dozer. I'm the Public Relations Officer for the local Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association Chapter 2-2. I'm here to inform you of a ride you don't want to miss. May 30th, Middleboro VFW, our second annual Ride for Homes motorcycle run in support of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth. Habitat for Humanity is a non-profit organization that helps families build and improve places to call home.
Okay, first,
registration kicks off at 10 a.m. with kickstands up at noon. To learn more, you can find us on Facebook at CVMA2-2.
Alright, I'm on Yellow Mike.
Check out
Yellow
our
Mike.
website at CVMA2-2.com. If you're a veteran that is interested in attending a CVMA meeting, we meet at the VFW in Middleboro the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. So come on down.
Yellow Mike. Got that one. There we go. Perfect.
Well, you gotta do sports segment, right?
Well, I gotta do the announcement I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Where's the announcement?
I have it right here.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back here on Middleboro in review, and I have an announcement to make here regarding the show and regarding an email that I made for the show. So we now have an email for Middleboro in review, and the email is middleboroinreview@gmail.com. So if you have any questions that you may have for the show, please direct them to Middleboro in Review. If you're unable to call in, if you have a certain article you want to talk about, email it to Middleboro in Review, and we will talk about it. We are joined by Chris Keach. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Joey. You were talking earlier about people, like the situations in grocery stores. That's why my girlfriend and I got our shopping done like Thursday. In some stores now, they're making people wait in lines 6 feet apart. And if they're over capacity, in the case of Walmart, 20% of their floor space, in other words, 20% of capacity, you will wait there. I believe Market Basket doing the same things. But I went to a store where there wasn't a ton of people there. It was a Thursday, as I said. There were some. These two women loading up 2 grocery carts with cases of water and all kinds of toilet paper, like 5, 6, 7 of these mega packs. And they got stopped right at the, no, you gotta, and the woman starts arguing with her, and and it's like, no, this is the store. There were no signs there. And some guy behind me is like, hey lady, learn to read. 1. Well, then we're leaving. Great, everybody's like, I'll take one of those because they cleaned it out.
Yeah, they probably got 2 years of toilet paper in their homes. That's just...
But I'm saying it's like, what happens is, in this situation, if you're getting to the point where you have to space people out and say, you can't go in until somebody leaves, for God's sakes, at that point, yeah, you have to put... Now, putting quantity limits on something isn't a new concept. You've seen stuff where it's like, something that's normally $2.50, they drop it down to $1, and they'll say quantities limited to 3. And the cash register won't accept more than 3 in one purchase.
Right.
But she was trying. It was her and her daughter, and she was trying to skate it through. And they're like, "No, sorry, you're obviously together. You're not going to just clean out our water and toilet paper section in one shot. You can have one toilet paper multi-pack. You can have 2 of the cases of water. That's it."
Right.
And it's like, "Hey, lady, learn to read." And I'm thinking, what happens if that guy steps out of line? He was a pretty big dude too, and says, "Tell you what, I'm taking that card away from you. What are you going to do about it?"
Right.
Obviously that's disorderly conduct, probably maybe criminal threatening. But what am I supposed to do? I got a heart condition. The guy's like a foot taller than I am. It's like, just really make it enforceable. I know at Walmart, we were, about a week or so ago, we were in there and somebody they had some toilet paper. My girlfriend needed some, so we grabbed 1 multi-pack. There were signs everywhere, 1. These people trying to take 2, and sure enough, this lady, I don't know what happened with the guy, but she's coming through, and I could hear "Sorry, ma'am, just 1. Oh, there were no signs there. It's like, yes, there. And everybody was like, yes, there were. So the thing that strikes me is, number one, I'm concerned about, in this situation, people losing individual freedoms. Because we're this close to going to martial law as far as I'm concerned. We're this close. I mean, they have situations in some cities where they have Easter coming up next weekend, and they have these traditional parties, and they're like, people are just going to continue to gather at their homes and party in groups of 30, 40, 50 plus. And he says, I don't envy our officers trying to go in and break those up.
Right.
In neighborhoods that have been there forever, Sally put it. I think it was in Chicago. In neighborhoods that have been there forever. It's not a good situation, man.
I think it's a hard thing, and I think you haven't been seeing too much of that in the country. I mean, there's been some, I heard some stories in LA that people are still opening and they're threatening, but in Farah, you really haven't heard too much about it. And we'll see what happens. It's a day-to-day thing. We've never dealt with anything like this before, and we have to...
yeah, hopefully it's a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Right. Well, hopefully, if it does happen, we have our ducks in a row. We have plenty of... And I think as far as relying on other countries...
No, forget it.
That's done.
Forget it.
That is, and Made in America is going to be on everyone's mind now. Everyone's going to be looking... Everyone's going to want it now. Especially if they go through an inconvenience like that. Your thoughts, Joe?
I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you on all your thoughts on this issue. It's definitely a big issue when you have 50, 60 people ignoring a direct order from...
Well, no one likes to be ordered, but it's common sense.
Yeah,
it is common sense.
The word guidelines comes to mind. Well, here at the radio station, we have certain guidelines. And believe me, when we tried instituting more stuff, very common sense things, clean up the studio after you leave. Put it back the way it was. I mean, there were some people that I had to come in here, or Mark had to come in here and say, hey, what are you doing? Well, chairs over here, this papers everywhere. No, we're not your maids, clean it up.
Right.
Oh, they stopped.
Exactly.
Was it pleasant doing it? No. Were they happy being told that? No. But ultimately, it has to be done.
Right. You figured more people would know that, though. You'd hope more people would know that. I'm not talking about anybody here or anything like that, but I'm talking
to
people
in general. Let me put it this way. We didn't have a huge problem,
right,
but it was something that before wasn't really enforced. So they were kind of like, well, what are you talking about? And it's like, well, when you leave here and all the, everything's out of place, and that means when I come in Monday morning with a ton of stuff to do, as I always have, it's another 5 or 10 minutes out of my morning that I don't have. And it's not fair for even somebody coming in and doing a show like Joey to have to do it either. Because he doesn't have the time.
Nip it in the bud.
It's not his job to clean up after somebody else.
Right. Nip it in the bud early. That's what I say. Nip it in the bud early.
So we're asking people, and like I said, that was just here at the station, and it's been fixed. But there are people out there that right now, they're the 2 guys from East Taunton that went golfing down in Rhode Island. Now they're facing charges. They left their car at a McDonald's and jumped into a car owned by a guy from Narragansett, went to a local country club, I think it was in Richmond, and got busted because the McDonald's employees said, hey, we watched them pulling their clubs out of their their car with Massachusetts tags, put them in a car with Rhode Island tags. They're a mile and a half from the country club, and they went down there and played around. They're supposed to be quarantined for 14 days. It's like, that's how it spreads.
Right. And there was talk about Governor Sununu in New Hampshire. I'm not sure if you heard that. I heard it last week, a couple days ago on another station. And he was thinking of entertaining the idea of opening the golf, courses.
Well, they had this huge petition, let New Hampshire play. Thousands of signatures, but how can you do that? Because golf clubs have locker rooms.
Right.
They do.
No, you can't.
In bars. Hey, let's hit the bar.
You can't.
Come on.
You can't open a golf and then some say, well, why can't we open the batting cages? Or why can't we open this? Or why can't you can shut it down.
No.
Shut it down.
No. Pretty much we'd have to have 0 transmissions, 0 new cases for at least 14 days before we could even start to think about that.
Right.
And maybe longer, because here's the thing. We've been under lockdown for the better 3 or 4 weeks now already. And you notice the cases just keep getting bigger and bigger. Which means, one, either people were already exposed, okay, because there wasn't any tests, or two, there are so many carriers out there, it's not funny.
I think they say, and I listened to the, I'm all been glued to what the federal response is as far as the president and his team. And I've been listening to our governor, and I've been listening to Mayor Cuomo pretty much, too.
Yeah.
And they say, Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci pretty much say that the people who are succumbing now, passing away, got it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, so the ventilated numbers is from people who got it 2 weeks ago. So they said it's the next 2 weeks. So it's either it's got to Apex and come down, or because we're at the tail end of total isolation as far as shut the country down. It's been only really 2 weeks, pretty much. And we just off the phone with my friend from Georgia, and he said just a few days ago that Georgia instituted all the states, and the county acted on it just last week. So Georgia's
Yeah. Well, another good show this morning. You got your 1 year anniversary coming up.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Because you miss shows here. People forget that. Somebody wants to ask me to try to figure out how many hours I'd ever been on the air, and I figure it's about 3,000 to 4,000.
Really?
Yeah. Because initially I thought it was more, but then when you break it down, now that I'm counting on the air, not necessarily in the office or doing, but probably 3,000 to 4,000.
I want to get your opinion on, both of you, I want to get your opinion on Kobe Bryant being announced for the NBA Hall of Fame class this year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think he was bound to. I think this is the time to do it. I know they recognized somebody who was the head of FIBA, which is an International Basketball Association, Europe and whatnot. He was the president of FIBA. I think his name was Bauman. They recognized one woman who was a legend of the WNBA. She was included. Kevin Garnett, which was nice. Sometimes this happens. Let's face it. It's like a recording artist that dies, and all of a sudden they're selling millions of copies again. Right? Look what happened when Whitney Houston passed away.
Right.
All right. So before we go, we got a quick today in history. We got a couple. 1621. The Mayflower sets sail from Plymouth, Massachusetts on a return trip to England. 1792. The United States President George Washington exercised his authority to veto a bill. The first time this power is used in the United States. April 5th, 1792. Vetoed the Apportionment Act.
The Apportionment Act, yeah.
On constitutional grounds. Birthdays we have today. 1916, Gregory Peck, American actor, political activist, and producer. Tommy Cash. I'm sorry.
Tommy Cash.
Tommy Cash. He is 80 today.
I never heard of him. Is that Johnny's brother?
He is the younger brother of Johnny Cash.
Oh, yes. Never heard of him. No. That's amazing.
And Mike McCready, American guitarist for the band Pearl Jam, has a birthday today. Deaths on this day: Cozy Powell in 1998.
Great drummer.
Oh, really?
Kurt Cobain in 1994.
Awesome drummer.
And
yeah, I love Cozy Pal.
He's my favorite.
And the founder of Marshall Amps, Jim Marshall.
All right.
So that'll do it for today's show. I want to thank everyone for listening, and I recommend everyone go listen to my first ever show that I did, April 7th, 2019, which will be 1 year old this Tuesday. So,
Can
we
I
will
say
see
one
you.
thing before you?
Yes. Yes, you have time. 6
feet, folks. 6 feet, okay? Stay 6 feet. Stay 6 feet apart, so you're not 6 feet under. Period. Okay. Just really be really mindful of the older people. I'll say it real quick because I know you got to go on, but I got out of the oil truck and I had an older couple walk right up to me and ask me what the price was, and then they kind of cornered me. Now I wait. If anyone's walking by the truck, I wait until they walk by. So that was a lesson for me because I was surprised they walked right up to me. But be safe, everybody.
All right, I'll see you guys next week here on Middleboro in Review. April 12th, 2020. Sorry, not 2019. April 12th, 2020. Bye-bye, everybody. I am
I'm out of here.
not playing an ID. I'm not playing a news. We're behind.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
That's fine. No. That's fine. Because,
play a 3-minute news, right?
No, I can't even do that. It's going to be 8:05 in just a minute. I'm going to play the ID now. Yep, ID, disclaimer, and then I'm going to Bread of Life.
We are AM 1530. DD, Middleboro Center, 99.
When I change something now, I have to do it in 3 places.
Bye, everybody.